Hi, this is Janine Hubble-Cox, and we have the one and only Jamie Foster Brown with Sister 2.0, and we are here today with a beautiful, talented, longtime friend of mine, Miss Camille Tucker. Jamie, you want to say hi to Miss Camille?
Hi, Camille. Hi,
Jamie. Hi, Jamie.
When can we get together again? That's what I want to know. How come Janine got you in September?
I know, it's amazing because I've known you for a while. So you interviewed me when I first started out as a screenwriter, as a baby screenwriter, just out of college. And I had sold a script with John Singleton called Gold Diggers. May he rest in peace. We sold a script called Gold Diggers to Universal Studios. And at the time, my cousin Myrna Williams, who works in the music industry, connected us and you interviewed me. So now we're having a full circle moment.
I'm loving this. I'm loving it. But Janine is going to, you know how she is. You know, this is my friend, Jamie. So I want to talk to her and everything. But I wanted to get on and say hello to you and let's catch up because there's a lot to discuss, especially since John Singleton. We could talk about, you know, how that went and what your progress was. You're going to tell Janine what your progress was all this time. This is wonderful because it's a tough business that you're in, especially for women. It's not easy, right?
Yes. Yeah. So thank you, Jamie. I look forward to continuing the dialogue, talking to Janine today and talking to you at some other time in the near future.
Yeah. And tell her all the secrets. Oh no, tell me all the secrets. I'll
save the juicy stuff for you. I'll save the juice for you, Jamie.
Okay, all right. God bless you.
Thank you, Jamie.
Take care. Happy Easter.
Bye-bye. Okay, happy Easter.
Camille Tucker, thank you so much for agreeing to join us on Sister 2.0 today. I know you have been super busy the past probably couple of weeks with your new project, The Clark Sisters, which debuted on Lifetime Network last night. Congratulations.
Yes, it did. And I'm just today is Sunday, Easter, the day after it premiered. And I was just engaging with people in social media all night and just feeling the love. And so I feel like I'm on a pink cloud. I'm feeling really blessed. And it's interesting that today, you know, is the day for Christians. We celebrate Jesus' resurrection, and I just feel that power of life and of love, and I really feel it today. So
I am so proud of you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So for our Sister 2.0 viewers who don't know who you are, just give us a little bit of background, you know, where you were born and raised, how you got into the entertainment industry, which I know personally you have been in for quite some time. You've been screenwriting, directing, the whole gamut. So tell our viewers, how did you get started in the industry?
Yeah, well, first of all, we are longtime friends, and I'm going to give context for that. So my dad's a dentist, and your dad's a dentist. Yeah. And so I grew up the daughter of a dentist who went to Meharry, historically Black medical school. And so there was like a group of them that were friends, and that's how we met, because they all knew each other and socialized when we were younger. We used to have the dental conventions every summer, and we would go. It'd be all these beautiful Black folks every summer getting together in a certain city, spending a week with each other. So that's how we first met.
Such good memories. I miss those days.
Yeah. Well, what's really interesting is I grew up in Compton, California. And so my father was not only a dentist with his practice there in Compton, but he was also mayor of the city. And when my dad passed away from cancer, unfortunately, but may he rest in peace.
Absolutely.
My brother became mayor, and then my brother became a congressman. So I'm kind of a daughter of Compton. I never really got out of LA. I had asked, live in Paris, live in New York, you know, but feel like I'm a Los Angelino girl. I went to LA. And my story is, I started writing though when I was in elementary school. So growing up in Compton, I went to a Montessori school and it burned down when I was in second grade. My mother actually owned the school. It was a very traumatic event, but I ended up getting bused after that and going to a predominantly white private school called Chadwick. And it was a culture shock. So it was like going from like the neighborhood with all my friends and, you know, all African American community to these affluent kids. I got called the N-word. I remember one time I was in the pool and I got out and my hair frizzed up and I got teased. You know, it was just all of this stuff that made me profoundly aware of my Blackness. And that was when I started to write, actually, and it was poetry. So I started writing little poems, and my mother, all mothers.
I love your mom.
This is brilliant. My mother proclaimed me a genius, which I love you, Mom. My mother, Martha Tucker, who's also a writer and a novelist. So I really started going with the creativity. So what's interesting about me is that I was a child actor. I did theater and plays and all of that. I was one of those theater kids all through middle school and high school. And then when I got to UCLA, I wrote. And I wrote a collection of poems. Remember, I'm writing the whole time, even though I'm an actor. I want to be an actress. And I submitted it for this contest, and I won the whole contest.
And how did that make you feel after writing since childhood?
I sat there because they posted it. You know how sometimes in college and university, they will post the results of things. It was in the English department. I'll never forget. It was posted on the door. And I sat there like looking at it. Is that my name? Like, is that me?
Sure.
And I just celebrated. And I got a $500 check too.
Well, that's not bad.
You know, for an undergraduate. And it was the Merrill Miller Award for undergraduate female poet. And
that's awesome.
There, that gave me the confidence to start pursuing my writing. And I became a creative writing major. And
while you were at UCLA, right?
I was at UCLA. I switched from theater arts to creative writing. And I had decided I'm going to really try this writing thing. But remember I told you I was writing poetry, and it was like, how am I going to make money from writing poetry? So really, we all know that like theater, writing plays, or writing film or TV, if you want to be a writer or writing novels, are kind of the ways to go. I mean, obviously you can be a poet. You have to be really good. So when I graduated from UCLA, I was at a party, and this goes to, I'll just touch on the whole thing of like, so many things in my life have happened because of relationships. So a friend said, oh, Camille's trying to get into the entertainment industry. And my friend Tony Lindo said, oh, I just finished a 6-month internship at Disney. Let me let the person know. And sure enough, because I think a friend referred me, interviewed, and I ended up getting the position. And that's how I first got in. Let me just do this short part, and this will encapsulate what you asked me. So Disney was a big part of my training, because in that 6-month internship, they had us read scripts. I was really delivering packages to every part of the lot, but I was learning about distribution. Oh, there's a marketing department, there's a distribution department, there's a clearance department, there's a legal department. I was really learning how film and TV gets made.
From the inside, from the bottom,
from the inside, mail carrier, but it was an internship, a paid internship. And I realized that there was people that read scripts that make decisions. Like, it's not just like you write a script and you toss it up in the air and it gets made. There are literally people who get paid to make those decisions, called creative executives. And so when I finished my internship, I became an assistant to a creative executive. And I was writing every night on my own, because I had started reading these scripts and kind of learning how to do it. And sure enough, although I was an assistant at Disney, I think for about 2 years, while I was an assistant, I sold my first screenplay. So
that's awesome.
How it happened. Yeah. I mean, I used to write with a partner, and we strategically did a short film to get attention and to get people out. We had a screening that had like 300 people there. We were fortunate to have, Bill Duke as one of the executive producers on our short. Our screening had Warrington Hudlin, John Singleton, Keenan Ivory Wayans. We were just so fortunate to have all of these really big names in the entertainment industry go there. And agents and managers. We ended up signing with an agent within a week, and then ended up selling. I ended up selling my first screenplay.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. That's I mean, so literally you have been doing this, some type of writing that led you to where you are today since childhood.
Since childhood. Yeah, since childhood. And that's what I think, we have to, I tell, because I'm also, what a lot of people don't know, I have another job as a screenwriting professor. So I'm a writer of TV and film, but also a screenwriting professor. And
And you're with Biola University, right?
Biola University, yes, thank you. So I tell my students it's a perseverance game, it's an endurance game. And also, I think you have to continue to work on your craft and on becoming better. I think if anyone ever thinks that they've arrived or they're too good for something, that's a recipe for disaster, because even the technology of the content that we're viewing is changing. I mean, look at Quibi
Absolutely.
now with these little 10-minute, episodes. So the way people are watching it always used to be traditional. I
Right.
remember like when I used to study classic screenplays like Casablanca or this, they were like 120 pages because movies were always 120 minutes.
Right.
Now movies are like 90 minutes, the attention span is different. Or now people are incorporating virtual reality and AR, and maybe like now these shorter content segments are coming out like with Quibi and platforms like that. So you have
Sure.
to always be like curious and ready to learn.
To
So
learn, and because technology is ever changing. And I
it
tell my
is.
kids sometimes I feel technologically challenged. I have to have my kids like, hey, can you come help mom with something? And I'm like, but I get it. I mean, if you want to be the best in whatever you're doing, you have to be constantly willing to learn. That is so important.
Yes, totally.
So fast forward, let's talk about your new project. It's been 15 years in the making.
Yes.
Why did it take so long?
Well, that's what, and this goes back to the whole thing about the endurance game, in the entertainment industry. When you have a project, when you write something and you go, I have finished my masterpiece screenplay, and you look at it, you press, like save or whatever, and it's like,
Right.
you write the end or whatever, and you're
Sure.
like, this is it. That isn't the end of it, there's a number of ingredients that have to come together to make a project happen. So for example, what actor you have attached, what director you have attached, where you want this project to air, or where you want it to play. Is it going to be theatrical or TV? And my theory is that if all of those ingredients aren't together at the right time, what can
Mm.
happen is what happened earlier in my career, which is my former writing partner and I sold like 5 or 6 scripts and none of them got made.
Okay.
And
Wow.
that can happen because
Sure.
maybe all the right, it's like a gumbo, all of the roux,
Ingredient
the
have to.
delay, and everything has to be together at the right time. So for this project, when I first came on board in 2005, my friend Sarah Finney Johnson, who's a prolific TV writer and the co-creator and showrunner of Moesha and The Parkers, wonderful TV shows, and who's written a lot
Absolutely.
since then, brought me on because of my expertise as a feature film writer. So she had
Okay.
mainly done TV. She hadn't really written a feature film. So she said, hey, come write this project with me.
Oh,
Well, crazy is that we went out to pitch it. And so pitching is verbally telling the story to executives and financiers. And all of
okay.
them, oh, this is great. This is cool. But no, we don't want to buy it. And I was like, I thought you said you liked it.
Right,
But
right.
they would ask questions like, well, is anybody attached to play, Dr. Maddie Moss Clark, who's going to play the sisters? And at that time, it wasn't really totally in place who was playing all of these roles yet.
Okay.
And so there was not like big name attachments. So every few years after 2005,
Mhm.
people would go, what happened to that Clark Sisters project? But nobody really pulled the trigger. And in
Okay.
2017, Holly Carter, the original producer who actually manages and works with the Clark Sisters and has been with
Mhm.
them for a long time, and the producer that originally brought me on, partnered with Queen Latifah. So Queen Latifah comes with the big guns.
Wow.
Her name is a known brand. And so I
Absolutely.
really do know that her name being attached as one of the executive producers made a difference, because this was that missing ingredient back in 2005 that didn't quite, put the film over the top. And so there was a few different studios that were interested, and Lifetime was the one that was really pursuing it and wanted to be in business with Holly and Queen Latifah. At the time, before it went to Lifetime, I wrote like 3 or 4 drafts. I wrote several drafts of the script, and that flashed forward to 2017.
Okay.
In 2017, I wrote several drafts of the script, and then it ended up selling to Lifetime. And then in 2017, when it sold to them, they brought on another writer to do some subsequent rewrites. And that was through the process of 2018. And then in 2018, it got the green light to go. And they brought on director Christine Swanson, and she directed the film in January of 2019.
Okay.
So from the time that I was writing the scripts in the summer of 2017. So even then it took like 2 years, even from that time, to actually roll before the cameras. So it's a process.
It's a process.
Definite process.
Wow. What was it? So did you actually get to work with Queen Latifah? And I know Missy Elliott's also attached, Mary J. Blige.
Yeah, thank you for asking. I didn't work directly with Queen Latifah. When I was doing my drafts, the notes would come from her and her producing partner, Shakim Compare. I would say his name wrong. Shakim Compare. And so the notes would come to them. But what they do, and this is another thing that people may not know about, in order to not confuse me, they didn't say, well, Queen Latifah said this, Shakim said this, Holly said this, Ronnie Petrie, the other producer, said this. They would compile the notes. It's called compilation notes, so that I'm hearing one voice and I'm getting one set of notes from everybody, because that could be very confusing for a writer. Holly might like something that Queen Latifah's like, oh, that scene's not quite, and then I'm like, oh, what am I going to do?
Right.
So it distilled down, and I would get one document with notes from everyone. And they were, we were doing notes and so forth through email. And the Clark sisters, who I was talking to on the phone and interviewing and everything, were in Detroit, obviously. So it was a lot of phone conversations and phone meetings, emails, and so forth.
And that was going to be my next question, because we actually interviewed the Clark sisters last week. And one of the questions that was asked, were you directly involved with the production? And they said yes. So what was it like working with the Clark sisters, albeit by phone?
Yeah. And I've actually met them in person a few times, but just the work, because they live in Detroit and I live here. But first of all, the first time I met them, I was like, oh my gosh, they're so gorgeous and glamorous and beautiful. Like, St. John knits and the sparkly and hair and nails. I'm like, woo, these women are beautiful and bigger than life.
Absolutely, they are.
And that was back in 2005 at the Kojic convention that happened here in Nashville. That was the first time that I met them. But in working with them, they are just lovely women. They really are. They are kind. They are powerful. They are vulnerable. They opened up and told me, they allowed me to know the stories of their lives. And Jackie and I had a run-in. Anytime I had a question, I don't know if it's because she's a nurse or something, all I have to do is just, Jackie, can you talk now? Or, So she was really good. I know probably Miss Karen as First Lady probably stays really busy and everything. But I talked to Karen, I talked to Dorinda, I talked to Miss Twinkie and Jackie. But I have a little running joke about how, like, if I was in the clinch in the middle of the night writing, I could text Jackie and be like, okay,
Jackie was your go-to.
She was kind of my go-to for those weird hour conversations and needing to confirm something. But yes, and actually what a lot of people don't know, I know that there's, now social media just makes everything just conversations are so public, but some people thought that I had not talked to Denise Clark Bradford, Dr. Bradford, and I did.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, because there was, I think it might have been on Twitter or YouTube or something that she was not consulted but she was reached out to. One of the producers, or Holly Carter and Ronnie, got me her number through Twinkie. And we texted, we talked several times. I did not get to talk to her as in depth as the sisters.
Sure.
our conversations, you know, I think when you're interviewing and when you're a writer, there has to be trust there. And
Absolutely.
so the person's not, maybe if they're not really totally trusting you or wanting to open up, sometimes our conversations would get cut short.
Okay.
But I talked to her about 5 times. So, and she was given every opportunity, and I asked questions to hear her side of the story, the family story. What was her perspective being a daughter of Maddie Moss Clark? What was her relationship with her mother, with her father, with her sisters growing up? I asked her all of those questions. Yeah.
Okay. And then that was important. That was an integral part of the process.
I think it's important to everyone because I've just seen some things that were said that she wasn't consulted or, you know, that she wasn't, but as the writer, and obviously no one has to believe me, but on my word, I talked to her about 5 times.
Well, and thank you for sharing that with us, just because if there was any doubt, I'm glad that it came directly from you, that you did in fact reach out to her. So thank you for sharing that.
Yes.
So the premiere of the Clark Sisters movie was last night.
Yes, it was.
I have been hearing nothing, and I watched it myself. I have been hearing nothing, and it is just an awesome, awesome biopic. You did an excellent job.
Thank you.
The actresses, everybody involved. It was such a great production.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I feel so honored and humbled. I honestly feel like I'm like, God, you know, wow, I'm so blessed just by a set of circumstances that I was the writer that was honored to be involved in this project. But I do want to say that I can't take, you know, full credit for the writing and that. Sylvia L. Jones did do several drafts and I did several drafts. And what's really beautiful when I was seeing it was the tapestry of certain scenes that I had written and dialogue that I had written and certain things. You know, I called my mother and I'm like, you know, that, you know. So, but also I want to say, when you look at the film, and this is something as being like, I went back later in my career and got my master's in screenwriting. So I've been to film school, and I consider myself to be someone who loves the cinematic arts. And so the director, Christine Swanson, is a big part. The director is the voice of the film. The director is the captain of the ship. And so it's amazing when you see a beautiful, smart Black woman. She's a mother of 4 children, amazing husband, and they are partners in life, and they do business together and stuff too. Her husband, Michael Swanson, get on a set with 100 people or more and be able to command the ship. And I know I'm a director too, but
absolutely,
you know, so I know what that's like. And I know also the idea that some women have had sometimes being the director, where people are like, really? And then they might turn to like a man or something, like another man. And this,
like, really? I mean, are you really directing this?
Yeah, it's not as much bad like that anymore, but maybe they don't expect that they know how to call certain shots, or they want to know what lens they want to use, or what they're going to tell the actor or what have you. But to see this, one thing you have to look at with the film, in addition to the amazing writing, which thank you so much, but I call it the texture of the film. I call it the tapestry of the film. From the very first shot, the colors, the way it's lit, you know, the decision to get certain camera angles of the performances, how you film the performances. There's such a brilliance in what she did, which I think makes it so good. You have to know, this is what John Singleton used to tell me. Sometimes we used to watch films and he would make me watch it frame by frame and break it down, explain. You have to know how to capture the performance. You could have a different person on a different day directing possibly the same actors and everything, but if it's not filmed or directed in the right way, it's not going to have that same emotional resonance. So I think the attention to detail makes me feel blessed, because I feel like the script, which was the blueprint, was given to the director. And then there was so much love put on it in actualizing it, in visualizing it. Like even the thing about the fried chicken.
Yeah.
Like those little details.
just little things matter. I mean, and when it comes across on the screen and you're sitting there watching it, the audience can pick up on those little details that you're talking about.
And I know all the folks in Detroit were like,
yes.
And that was an improv there. That little bit right there was an improv.
Really? Oh, wow.
I think the place, is it Henry's? I don't know why I'm having a brain meld right here, but the fried chicken place that they went to. Please, Detroitans, if I got the name wrong, please don't, but y'all know,
exactly.
But that, because I know that they improv that on the set of just using the name of like a real place instead of being like KFC or something generic.
It brought something genuine to the film. Yes.
Yeah.
That is good stuff. Well, what other upcoming projects do you have? I know you've got so many irons in the fire. Yeah. What else can we look forward to from Camille Tucker?
Thank you for asking. I feel like one thing, if a person notices, if they'll see my short films or see my body of work, that what I have always been doing is writing roles, powerful roles for Black women to embody. And I won't say that I only write for Black women, but I have specifically made up in my heart that I want to see Black women doing things we haven't normally seen them doing. And by the way, I just want to say Anjanou Ellis's tour de force performance as Dr. Maddie Moss Clark is one of them. Like gold record winning, playing that Maddie Moss Clark was a 5-time gold record winner, that she was international director of music for the Kojic Church, and that Anjanou Ellis completely embodied that role. And so to see that makes me so excited. But I've continued to write projects like that. So I have one that's loosely based on my real life. That's one that I'm very excited about doing. And this is a project I wrote a few years ago, but it's called Blessed in the City. And basically,
I remember seeing bits and pieces about that.
It's a kind of upside down Sex and the City, in the sense it's for women of faith who are trying to date God's way. And so they're dating without sex. So, when you see Sex in the City, you see a lot of sex.
Absolutely.
But in the city, you'll see a lot of no sex.
No sex.
But it really is me and my friends at some point, we were just like burnt out on dead end relationships. And we decided to try to like get into ourselves spiritually, meditatively, reflectively, and really see why relationships weren't going the way that they
weren't going. Right. And I think that even today,
part of cutting sex out of the equation was like not having a false sense of intimacy with someone before you really get to know yourself and really get to know them. So that's what that screenplay is about. And I think it's a great segue from the Clark sisters because it is a female ensemble. It's multicultural. It has 2 African-American women leads, Latina and white female lead. So that's one. And then I have a TV pilot that is based on a political family from Compton. The Kennedys of Compton.
I wonder who that's modeled.
But it's sort of, you could say, Greenleaf, but with a Black political family in Compton. Okay. So I am shopping that project as well. And that's one that I got consulting. My mother actually, as a former First Lady of Compton, consulted. My brother, former Congressman Walter Tucker III, consulted. And my sister, who used to run his campaign. So I feel really special about that one because looking at like the Clark sisters, how they were a family that worked together, like this project represents that. Me and my family drawing their knowledge and creating that TV series. So I'm very excited. I have a number of other ones and I tend to write drama or romantic comedy type of things. I got some Christmas movies I'm working on. So I'm excited.
You have your hands in a little bit of everything.
I have a lot of projects because I've been writing for a while and I keep writing. So I'm sort of ready now to have conversations with people.
Well, you've been on your way, Camille, and with the Clark sisters, I am just, again, so proud of you. And this is only the continuation of everything that you have been working so hard for and deserve. And you know that I love your entire family, so please tell them all I said hello, especially that brother of yours, Kenneth Tucker.
I know. Funny joke, Janine and Kenneth. You guys were like, what, 10-year-old sweethearts or something? like laughing. So cute.
Yeah, wait.
So cute. But seriously, the last thing I want to say is I really just also want to thank the fans. I believe that they saw that we poured our hearts into this, and the response has been overwhelming. And I was telling Christine, we do it for the people who love the Clark sisters and who want to see their stories. So people were like, this should be a miniseries. But I really just want to thank them thank you fans, everybody who supported this project, because in doing so, it gives an opportunity for other quality projects featuring African Americans and about our stories to be told. So I'm elated.
And we needed to have that story put out there. And I'm so glad that you were a part of it. And I'm so glad that you agreed to join us with Sister to Sister 2.0. This is Janine Hubble-Cox with the beautiful, lovely, and multi-talented Camille Tucker. Thank you so much.